calendar off. All right.
Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. The boys are busy today. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter pod. Everyone's panicking beforehand just because we had to drop all this other stuff to hop in here. But today is going to be another great pod.
We're committed. We're committed to doing it no matter what. I don't care how busy we are. We're here.
Committed.
We're here, guys.
This is true.
Bro, the hard part is you have to stop what you're doing 15 minutes before the pod. If you really
it's so hard
time, and then you're thinking about that 15 minutes before that you have to hop off 15 minutes to get it done, because this is like the only thing on my calendar today, right? And then the rest.
I feel bad that the hour-long meeting I was in before the podcast we just jumped on, I was multitasking on so many different things. I was responding to emails, the text messages. One of my private lenders called me. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I got to put you on pause. I got to answer this." Like, there's so many things going on once you get this business going. Even when you have a team in place, because a lot of times you're the final decision maker on a lot of stuff. So
I feel that. Dino, can you get us into the Facebook groups?
Yep.
Hey, Jen, the dictator's watching. The dictator, Jennifer Pritchard, is watching live on Instagram.
Oh, did she join the live?
I saw she joined.
She doesn't want to be on the pod, but she'll eavesdrop on. But
she'll tune in.
So we're doing good. Yeah.
All right. So I am your co-host, Stratton Brown, aka Strat Daddy. I'm currently in a 0 to 1 million challenge. It is an absolute grind, but it's dope. I'm documenting everything, all of the hiccups, challenges. So if you go and you want to make $1 million net company, you can watch all my YouTube videos, and I guarantee you all of your questions will be answered. We have a 7-figure real estate portfolio, and we've scaled 2 separate companies to 7 figures using virtual assistants. I got started in real estate, I want to say like 5-6 years ago, and I had no life skills whatsoever. And Jason's going to say this, Dean's going to say this. Real estate has changed my life, and I am probably one of the luckiest people alive to even be in the game and be where I'm at today. We have the master of hair with the nice Deal Champs shirt on. All right, I got my Deal Champs Lulu on. Mr.
I have the OG,
Jason
the original colorway is on today.
I was wearing mine this morning too.
Of people. Only
there we go.
The OG colorway, bro. Yeah.
I was wearing it this morning, and I took it off for my workout, so I'm still wearing my workout clothes.
There you go.
I love it.
It's your other co-host here, Jason Pritchard. Backstory on me is I worked in corporate America for 15 years, burned all the boats in 2014, and have been investing in real estate full-time since then. We've done 450 deals. Have a rental portfolio just over 100 units in Central California. And like we always say, the whole point of this podcast is try to transfer as many of our learning skills and life lessons to you guys that are tuning in. So hopefully you get some value out of today's pod. And I'm excited about this topic because we always talk about how to graduate. When's the right time, and how do you graduate to doing larger deals? And when do you start, taking swings at some of these bigger opportunities? So it should be a good one for everybody that's tuned in.
And now we have Sleepy Dean Rogers here.
The name sticks.
Bro, it sticks. It's stuck. He hasn't tried to remedy the situation.
No, it's not stuck. It's not stuck. It's unstuck.
Bro, it's stuck. You're not going to be able to go on any YouTube channel, podcast, nothing without them calling you Sleepy
I'm going to
Dean.
get you for this. I'm going to get you for this.
Because if I got Captain America to stick and then other people introduce you as that, bro, Sleepy Dean's going to follow you for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
Give us a quick intro, Sleepy Dean.
All right. Captain America here, reporting to action. I guess I just got to get the Trump outfit, which, by the way, we were talking about this before. I'm on Amazon looking at it now. I'm typing in Trump costume as I'm talking because we got to fix this. There's some good ones here. Ooh, yeah, there's some good ones here for sure. So I'll take some time to get that situated, but you're the co-host here, Dean Rogers, and my story is I started my career in the NFL. I then transitioned to corporate, then to real estate. Been investing in real estate for over a decade now in Central California. We've done over 650 deals, rental portfolios, 8 figures, and coaching students how to get started with wholesaling and to scale your business. You guys can always connect with me at deanrogers.com.
Dean, do you have the questions written out from last week?
I could find them. Yeah, I know there's some in here right here. Yep.
All right, let's find those. Anybody have a problem of the week while Dean finds those? They're like an interesting one.
Always problems.
I just don't have enough time in the day, I'd say is my biggest problem.
I guess I'll elaborate on a problem that we talked about prior, and there was resolution and the end result we were looking for. So I talked about this before, and we were chatting offline before our last podcast about a problem that we were having, and it was a seller who was trying to back out of the deal. Okay, and look, in these situations, sometimes there's good reasons, sometimes there's bad reasons. I think the reason that the seller wanted to back out was partially legitimate. You know, there was a lot of sentimental value in the property, and she was trying to find a way to, you know, kind of reposition her ability to stay attached to it while still selling it. Now, by doing that, she was trying to sell the property for more money and to a friend. Now, she had said it wasn't about the money, which I do believe her in, but you know, it was partially about the money. So we ended up having to let her know that, hey, we have a legal binding contract, and you know, we fully intend on moving forward on this and getting this closed. And you know, however which way we need to do that, we will. And so there's a lot of back and forth that I'll spare you guys the details, but it ended in myself having to jump on the phone with her and talk through this. And what ended up happening was there was an emotional kind of roller coaster talking through this, because it was, you know, a very emotionally based decision. And I got her to come back to the other side and realize that, hey, this is good. We're still on the same page that we were from the beginning when we agreed to move forward, and we got everything to the finish line. Now, that ended up being a $90,000 profit deal for us. And had we not solved that problem, then, you know, it could have gone poof up in thin air, and that would have really sucked. So that was a problem that we solved. And then a new problem is we're looking to hire somebody right now as a follow-up specialist, and trying to. What's that?
Did you not make the hire yet?
Haven't made the hire yet. I've gone through a series of interviews, and like 3 or 4 interviews deep with some people. And so looking to make a final decision on that. I want to get your guys' feedback on this, actually. Would you guys rather hire somebody? This is for everybody listening right now. Would you rather, and then for you guys as well, would you rather hire somebody? Bailey Buck says it's always about the money. Yeah, it usually is, even if they say it's not. So would you rather hire somebody with prior real estate experience for a position in sales in your real estate investment company that potentially has skills, whether there's some good skills, maybe some bad habits, right? Or would you rather hire somebody who's seems like they have the skill, the capability, the right cultural fit, that doesn't have any real estate experience and is a complete blank canvas that you can mold?
I will take cultural fit all day, because I can mold everything else. I can't mold culture. Like, it's very, very hard to take a human and turn them into what, like, yeah, we're developing our people over time, but if they don't fit culturally, bro, it's a mess. Even if they're the best salesman in the world, you hear stories all the time of people cutting their top salesmen because they're toxic. You know, like, they may be the best person ever, but it blows up the company. For me, I'm hiring people with experience because I have to. But if I could just get a salesman who's a good fit, I'm taking that person.
Put it in context a little bit more before you answer, Jason. Is that let's assume everyone is a good cultural fit. Would you rather take the person who's potentially a harder worker, potentially has greater potential with no real estate experience, versus somebody who has real estate experience, good cultural fit, and could plug and play right now, but maybe not going to be at the same potential and level of player as the other person?
That sounds like a no-brainer, Dean.
Yeah, I think you go with the first person. I mean, I'm not going to discount people for having prior real estate experience, but if I see more potential and it's obvious in the person that doesn't have the real estate background, the language of real estate can be taught, dude. And that's, I think, our job as leaders is to develop talent, transfer the
Yep.
skills and the things that we're great at to our team. And I do think that sometimes there is a benefit of working with a blank canvas versus coming and trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Now, if they are a cultural fit, they are a hard worker, and all those things are equal, I'm not going to discount prior real estate experience, because I do feel like that learning curve then is shorter. And so you can onboard quicker and get to where you need to go quicker. So all things being equal, I think I'd probably pick the person with real estate experience. But if I see more potential, I can teach the real estate. And I know this is true for you. This is true for all of us. We've developed people that have no prior real estate background or little to no real estate background. So we know that we can do that. So I'm always going to go with the potential over the experience, if I see that there and it's clear.
I just want killers, bro. It would be like the thing I think we could all agree on. If
Yeah.
you have someone who's a dog, you will find a place for them in your, like, I think Marissa is the best thing we could think about this. She's a fucking animal, and she was working for Jason as an intern, and he's like, we got to find a spot. She's crushing it. I don't care what previous experience is.
She's on acquisitions now, bro. I have to hire a new intern. We already promoted her in acquisitions because it was like, because I was like, we were sitting down talking, and we were like, okay, we need to get an acquisitions person to help carry some of the workload for Scott. And we all sat down and said, dude, Marissa's crushing it. She's already speaking Spanish. She's already helping us convert our Spanish speaking deals, and she's helped us close Spanish speaking deals as an intern. Why not? Let's just give her the opportunity, because the culture fit was like this, dude. Everybody loves her. She came on. It was great. You know what I'm saying? Like, she fit in seamlessly with the team. So that piece, which is usually the hard part, because it's like, everybody's got to get to know you, and are you cool, and do you vibe with everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, we zoomed past all of that. And so we gave her the opportunity, and she stepped up. So now we've got to find somebody else. But like, I'll use Scott as an example, bro. Like, Scott literally was working as a barista at Cup of Joy when he was like 19 years old when he started, dude. And then you look at the run that he's gone on. So it's like, if you know, as a leader, you can take somebody from the, and it wasn't just me, obviously he did a lot of work and put in a lot of effort to get here, but with guidance and leadership and mentorship, you can take somebody from that to what he's doing now. I know that I can do that again with the right person. And so I feel like the person has to fit. The real estate experience is a bonus as long as those other boxes are checked.
Dean, I don't think you're on a time crunch, though. If I'm you, I'm taking the person with the potential, because you have no time crunch and you're talented and you can develop the person. Because like, the odds of us finding another A player who's a killer are way lower. And when he gets to that potential, he'll fucking 5x what the other guy would actually do.
Yeah.
And you just have to wait a couple more months.
Yeah. Eric on IG says, hire for attitude, train for skills. Yeah, this person that I'm thinking about moving forward with definitely is a blank canvas, but has prior experience with hiring and training people, running teams, management, doing side hustles and starting businesses, doing sales, dealing with issues and escalations, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like the person's hungry and could be a really good fit. So I'm excited about it. And, also part of it is, do I have the time to train this person the right way?
I'll give you that.
Which is another legitimate thing to think through. So
I just think his potential sounds so good because he can grow into the company. And then the only step that's left for Dino is stepping out of a dispositions role, right? Yeah. And then if you wanted to be able to mold him into that, because he has all of the skill sets to take responsibility, to run teams, do all this stuff. Like, that's what I would be thinking about, is like, what is this person's true potential in the company, and like to max their income earning potential and to max what I'm trying to accomplish in the company.
Yep.
All right, great topic. Great problem.
Yep. It's an interesting one. Looking back at some of the questions we had from last week. So looking at this, this is a good one. We didn't get to, but I feel like is a really good topic, which is, how much is enough money per month? I've seen other people post about this on social media. Usually it ruffles feathers, gets a lot of people excited to talk about it. And I think for good reason. I think there's some people with different perspectives because some people are already earning a certain amount. So their world paradigm has all shifted and they see life differently. And there's others that haven't quite gotten there yet, whether they're trying or not. And less is completely fine for them. Right. And it's not about the money, even though Bailey Buck says it's always about the money. So
this is good. Are we talking personal and our business? How much is enough in our personal lives or in our business lives or both?
I feel like business will trickle down to personal anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we should maybe we answer it on the personal side because for
I think it's
most
easier to
people,
quanti on the personal side than it is
most people,
because everybody's
the business
businesses
side,
are different. Yeah.
You got different bills, you have different size teams, so it's hard to quantify it with that in context. But personally speaking, especially for a lot of people listening to this, maybe getting started, those are one and the same. You know, yourself and no one else is running everything, and what you earn is what you pay yourself, pretty much. So,
All right, this is a good one.
Jason, what do you think?
Let's get some.
First.
I'll go first.
Yeah, the feathers.
Everybody that's on my live stream, I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So, in your personal life, how much do you think is enough money every single month? Drop a comment in there, and we'll share it with you guys. So, for me, we've set a target of $20,000 a month. That's our number every single month. So, in order for us to pay our mortgage, to pay all of our bills, to be able to travel the way that we want to, and live the lifestyle that we want to live the way that it is right now, I need to be making $20,000 a month to not have to worry about financial bills. So we've set our business up in a way between the salary that we pay ourselves plus owner distributions, it equals to about $20,000 a month. And that's the number for me.
I don't know how anybody can live off of less than $100,000 a year personally. I don't know how you can, like, it has to be so hard to put it together and make it work every month. Just as far as how high bills have gotten, especially in like the state of California.
Yeah.
You are grinding your fucking face off every day and working 3 jobs to make ends meet.
Yeah.
The other day I was listening to a podcast with a dude named Scott Galloway. He sold the company for $200 million. And he was like, he's worth $200 million. He spends $4 million a year minimum. He's like, I need $400,000 a month to live. And he's like, I live in LA and London, and you would be amazed at how much more money I could spend if I wanted to be irresponsible every month. But he's like, between my houses, my mortgages, philanthropy, and travel, that's what I know I'm going to hit every month, no matter what. And his lifestyle looks pretty good to me. So I'm aiming at, okay, how can we get to a point to where we're spending that much money to where I can go on vacation? Like, and he's like, I go on awesome vacations and I take everybody with me. He's like, this isn't just like going on vacation. And this kind of goes into what me and you were talking about, Dean. You're the man of your family and like the man of the neighborhood, to where that money helps you create amazing experiences for everyone else around you. And I think that's something other people don't really think about when they think about money and what you can do with it. Right. And so for me, I'd say whatever the number is, it's probably a lot more than that because you're going to get there. And I remember talking to Alan, and he was like, yeah, I make about $100,000 a year for my rentals. Like, bro, you could retire. He was like, Stratton, you would be amazed at how much more money I would need to actually fucking retire based off of everything that's going on. So I think your number is going to consistently grow until you have a life-changing income event, or until you are 20 years down the road and you're like, hey, here's where we're at and here's what we can do. Because I know Jason, if he wanted to, could find several things to inflate that monthly number.
Oh yeah.
Bump it to $100,000 a month. And this is just where we're at. And this is what it takes to live. And it's not hard to get there. So for me, I would say,
what's your number? So then what's your number? So you said 100 is the minimum. So that's 8,300 a month. My number's 20 a month. So if in order for me to live the way I want to live, it's 20. For Strat, it's how much?
For me, fuck, bro. We'd need at least 20 to live comfortably, travel, do stuff. But then if I want to do what I actually like really, really want to do, and like, let's just say I want to fly private because I'm sick of airplanes.
No, you can't do that on $20,000 a month.
You can't do that on $20,000.
No.
And so that's going to cost
like $100,000 a month at least.
Yeah, I need $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so it always grows. And then the big thing for me is paying for family to go on vacations with me and doing really, really big philanthropic events and giving to the places I want to give and all that other good shit. You can't really do that much with 20 grand. That essentially just is good for you, I would say.
What
But
I
it's-
like about this topic, dude, is it's very polarizing. And I've had lots of people come to me and they'll be like, what do you need $20,000 a month for? Why do you need that car? Why do you need that house?
What?
Well, I don't need any of this shit, dude. So like literally, I don't need to have, I've talked openly with you guys about my story and some other people, bro. Like I had nothing when I started this, bro. So I came from from like zero. So for me, what I need and what I want are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to have any of the stuff that I have, but I choose to build a business and a life that allows me to live this way, dude. And so for me right now, that number's 20 to 25, honestly, is probably what the real number is. More like 25, dude. So it's
and
like
right now,
I built a business to do that.
We don't even burn more than like 7 to 10 a month. Like we
You
don't
guys
burn.
do. We spend every bit of that 20, bro. Like every bit of that 20 is gone. So I know that 20 for us is that baseline. Anything
But I'm
below
not
that,
going-
we're not doing enough.
I'm not going hard. And honestly, because we're waiting on the ERC money, I had to cut back on a bunch of shit too.
It's good, dude, and that's
Right?
good. And it's like this discussion is important because it's all relative. Like everything is relative. It's relative to where you're at in your life. It's relative to what you want to do. It's relative to the kind of lifestyle that you want to live. And I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer. People get so like up in arms about this topic, and they're like, "Well, why do you need X? Why can't you just survive off?" Like, because I don't fucking want to, bro. Like, I don't want to do that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work really hard, and there's certain things in my life that I prioritize. And if money is the thing that unlocks that lifestyle that I want to live, then I'm fine doing it. Because for me, like I have a different outlook when it comes to making money and generating income. I actually think most people think that making money is hard. And for me, that's honestly, I think the easier part, dude. Most people want to save their way and go backwards to unlock their goals. They want to cut every single thing, and saving $60 a month on Starbucks is not going to get you to where you want to go, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you could $60 a month is $800 a year. It's much easier for you to do one deal and make $8,000 than it is to save $60 a month, bro. Now, I'm not saying you have to be financially irresponsible. You have to have your personal finances in order. So I'm not saying and being a proponent of that. You have to have your shit together. You have to have more money coming in than you have going out every single month. You have to have a baseline understanding of what those numbers are. I think we have all worked really hard to figure out what there's at in our life. And I think the problem for most people is they don't even understand that. They don't even understand step one, money in versus money out. And most people have more money out than they do coming in. And I've just focused on making more money. And then that's what's allowed me to
I don't think most people can control their income though. And I think that's a big gap because the people asking you these questions don't see money as a lever that they can pull and bring in more or do something else and bring in less. For all three of us, we look at it different.
I agree. That to me is belief. I used to think that way. And I understand very well how that person feels that way because I used to feel like that. I felt like I was capped. I felt like I can't. I'm barely making 100 grand a year. How am I going to make 100 grand a month? My current vehicle for income earning is not going to allow me to do that. So then you need to find another vehicle, guys. It's that simple. It's never been. Is it easier or is it harder to make money in 2024? Your guys' opinion.
It's way easier.
It's easier, dude.
Of course, a lot easier than when I got started. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. So it's like I think
about this, bro.
When people just say want to come up with a bunch of excuses about it, bro. No, and I can't. I'm not. That's just not proven to be true for me. So I don't subscribe to that thought process.
So for me, I would say we're at that 6 to 10. I don't know how anybody could go less than 6. And with that 6, that's after mortgages. Right. So that's after the rent. But then Dean, I think your burn is higher than ours.
It definitely is. It's yours combined.
Right. Your burn is super high.
And that's why it's all relative, bro. It's all relative.
It
So what's your number, Dean? What's your number
so,
every month?
This is what I'm convincing myself, which there's definitely reality to this. And then there's also just lifestyle to this as well. So for me, I'm personally a very frugal person. I do not like spending money The reason being is because I started out broke and was broke and had some success and then became broke again. And like that happened to me several times. And that feeling is like so ingrained into me that I'm just a very frugal person, conservative, like to avoid risk, like to have a safety blanket. So I naturally don't like to spend money. But that being said, I'm in a phase in my life where I have 4 kids, and those kids are expensive. Now, the kids aren't spending the money. It's the parents that are spending the money. Really, my wife's spending the money. But as part of our lifestyle choices, we also choose to have the highest quality, best food possible. We choose to have the cleanest cleaning supplies and the organic handmade clothes and stuff like that. We choose to have those type of things to try to live as much as possible a natural, clean lifestyle with high quality stuff. Now, that's not stuff I could afford day one. I was buying all my food and everything from Target when I started all this journey, and then I found out about organic food, and then I found out about all these other different things to what I would call enhance or increase your quality of life or lifestyle. And we live in La Jolla. I'm 2 blocks from the beach. It's expensive to live here. But with that comes lifestyle. On the 4th of July, I watched fireworks from my front yard. We swam in the pool with friends. I walked to the beach with my group of friends, jumped in the ocean, and swam around a little bit with my friends and walked back to the house. Like I'm paying for that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I drive my golf cart every day. Drove it to go run some hills today with one of my buddies at Kate Sessions Park, which overlooks downtown San Diego and the whole stretch of the beach. Like you have incredible views. That's expensive. And if I lived somewhere else, I could cut my living expenses in half or less. So it's one of those things where these are all choices. And because of the choices that have been made, the cost of living is really expensive. And right now, I can't spend any less than $30,000 a month. Can't spend any less. Literally, it's impossible. I've tried. I've even taken credit cards away from my wife, and I'm like, we're not spending any money. Let's see if we can not spend more than $30,000. So there's months where we'll spend 40. And there was a couple other things that popped up, but between private school and location, the choices of what we want to eat and put on our bodies and all those type of things, like it's expensive. I just spent a couple $100 buying body wash, for the whole family just a couple days ago. I spent several $100s buying diapers for the kids, which will last probably a couple weeks. We spent $1,000 restocking our fridge when we just spent $2,000 restocking our fridge 3 weeks ago when we got back from Europe. So it's like, these are all choices, but they come at a price. So could we spend less? We definitely could if we live somewhere different and we made different choices on what we want to eat and do things like that. But for me, it's like, I'm now accustomed to this lifestyle. I prefer to be in this lifestyle. So I know that my monthly is at least 30. At times it's higher. So I pay myself 30. And if it gets to the point where I need more, because we like to keep a lot of money in the business and available, then we'll take additional distributions and do that. Right. So that's where I'm at with my thing.
All right. So just to put this in perspective for people, things that could add up for you very fast that are very convenient for you. Cleaners at your house. I'm sure everybody wants cleaners, right? So we have cleaners.
Dude.
A nanny, especially when you have lots of kids, you're going to have a nanny in there. A chef. For lots of people, like at a point in time when your time is valuable. I know Jason cannot cook for a goddamn, he's told us. And he says no one in the house cooks and they DoorDash everything. So either DoorDash or you chef, right? Then we have organic everything like Dean said. That's going to 3x your price on all your food. Then we have Kalani is huge on like getting like new towels. Bro, it costs $128 a towel that we bought the other day, right? So we got that. Then we have new clothes every time. We have your travel costs. We have our kids' activities. You have your self-care, charity donations, and then we still even have private school. Zeno's private school alone is $800 a month is what we're looking at. And that's not even like the best one in town to where it could be $3,000 a month. Like that's a mastermind cost. And so people are like, oh, well, how could you spend all this money? Life adds up pretty fast as you want to like just make it easier, more convenient for you so you can keep living your life.
And it comes down to what you value, dude. And that's the thing. And that's why everybody's number is going to be different, dude. Like there are things that Dean rattled off that there's, for me, nothing wrong with that. But those are, some of those things aren't things that I personally value. And I'm sure vice versa. And there's nothing wrong with any of the decisions that we make, dude. And that's why I'm saying, I always say this, dude, is the answer to most people's problem is just figure out a way to make more money to unlock these things that you want to do. I really value having a nice house, so I'm willing to pay more for my house. For me, it makes me feel really good. And so it's just something that I'm not going to sacrifice. This is the new normal in my life. And once this normal's set, I'm not the type of person that wants to go backwards. And that's it. I just, once here's the thermostat's here now, and we're not going backwards from here, dude. If anything, it's going up. And so 10 years ago, it wasn't like that for me, guys. I mean, 10 years ago, Jen and I were spending $5-6 grand a month when we had 2 kids at our house, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our mortgage was $1,600. Our food bill and everything else was another $1,600. And then everything else on top of that was probably $3 grand, dude. So if you would have told me 10 years ago that Jen and I by ourselves with 2 adult kids living out of the house would be spending $25,000 a month just on us for our bills, I wouldn't have fucking believed that it was possible, dude.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, dude. It's like I got into this business to unlock what I considered is my dream life. And most people sell themselves short and they just prolong that vision of what their dream life is till like some point later on down the road. And I think what's cool about what we're talking about is here's how you can unlock that right now. Real estate has been the vehicle that's allowed us to unlock this type of stuff for us now. And you don't have to wait, dude. It's been proven to me that you don't. This dream that we've been sold that you got to wait until you're fucking retired doesn't make sense. And you don't have to subscribe to that if you don't want to.
Dude, I remember working corporate job at the very beginning of my real estate career and knowing some people around me that were making 6 figures, and we're talking low 6 figures in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And I remember doing the math on it, how much I'd be making a month, and telling myself, dude, if I could just get to $100,000 a year salary,
that would have been balling. Bro.
Have it made. And then it's like, dude, if I could, and it's just a little bit more to get to $10,000 a month, dude, $10,000 a month, that's a ton of money. Like my rent's a couple $1,000, food's a couple $1,000 more bucks. I'm going to have thousands of dollars extra every month. There's so much I could do. I could travel every month if I wanted to. I'm going to have so much money. I just remember talking to myself about that and thinking $10,000 a month, I'll literally just be cruising. Like life will be perfect. And now it's like, I can't even pay for the cost of a roof over my head for less than $10,000. Like it's more than that every month just to be under a roof, not even turn the lights on or to use anything, like just to sleep under this, under this roof. So, yeah.
How do you guys think about money? Do you think about it in $100 increments or $1,000 increments? When do you start to think?
That's a good question. I like that one. I definitely remember thinking about hundreds before. And what's funny, when I still see money in person, if I see $100 bill, it triggers an emotional response for me to be like, ooh, that's a lot of money. Because I remember seeing $100 bills at a younger age, thinking it was a lot of money. If I had $100 bill in my wallet, like I had money in my mid-20s. But now it's like everything is thousands or tens of thousands.
Same. It's definitely thousands or tens of thousands. I also have spent a lot of time reprogramming the way that I think about money, which is a more important question or more important statement, in my opinion. Like I just don't, my relationship and the way that I used to view money before and how I view it now are just 2 completely different ends of the spectrum. And I just don't believe that money is scarce. I believe if I need to go make more money, we can go generate it in our business. I believe money is something that is meant to flow and when we operate from a place of scarcity and big chunks of money come in and then we hang on to it and we hoard it, it stops the flow of additional money coming in. So I do think that you always have to be fiscally responsible in your business and your personal life. And I feel very good that I've spent the last 10 years building some really good, strong foundations when it's there. So if money from me can flow into some of these other things that I want, I'm going to let it go, bro. And I know, and I'm not worried about it coming back. I feel very confident that we can do it again and run it back if we need to. So I think most people need to retrain their relationship and rethink the way that they think about money. And that's most people's biggest problem because they operate from scarcity.
Yeah. I'm not in the tens of thousands. Yeah, I'm in thousands. Like if it's thousands, I'm solid. If it's tens of thousands, I am definitely taking a double look at said thing that needs to be bought. All right. What was the next question, Dino? I thought that was a great topic.
Good one.
That's a good one, man. And I think a lot of people, it creates an emotional response. And yeah, it's definitely a good one. So next one is, does your fitness affect your results and your success?
Say that one more time.
Does your fitness, you working out, being in shape, eating healthy, all this kind of stuff, does that affect your success? Because I know we talked about this before. Seen a lot of fat dudes, big old guts, making lots of money. You know, the fat dude with a polo shirt that doesn't fit him, with his gut hanging out the bottom, getting out of his Ferrari with a hot chick in the front seat. You know, what's going on with that? He made it and he's out of shape. So why am I working out so hard? You know, what are your thoughts, Strat?
I think you need to be aware of how your brain works. For me, like I know if I don't exercise, I've struggled with just say negative thoughts and those demons and feeling anxious, and I don't function well when I feel that way. And when I exercise, all of those feelings are put to the wayside, like they go away. And so I know I function better when I'm actively exercising. The richest man I know, though, has a pot gut, has always had a fucking pot gut, and he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Right? And then you think about way back before fitness became a thing with all the influencers, people were making millions and billions of dollars. And Elon Musk has this massive barrel chest, and he's the richest man in the world. So yes, there's some sort of correlation. I would say more than anything, like with 75 hard is there to develop your mental discipline so you can execute at a high level in all ways, but not necessarily just for fitness. The fitness side is just a reflection of where you're at mentally for some people. But if you look at all these older dudes who made money way before us, they weren't going to the gym every day. They were just out there absolutely executing on the goal, on the plan, day in, day out. And then let's just say fitness wasn't a priority. I would say for most people, you are not him, and you need to have some sort of physical fitness implemented into your life because you're just not that talented, in my opinion. Like you're not the guy who's fucking filthy rich, has a pot gut, drinks every day, and still gets it done. You're just not that talented. You don't have the skill set yet. Maybe you will, but odds are that's not you right now.
I don't think it can be argued that being out of shape or letting yourself go is non-optimal and would be better than eating healthy, working out, and doing that. I don't think that that point can be argued. We're going to be better, sharper, crisper, make better decisions, have a higher drive, like have more energy if we focus on our health. So for me, the question is, or the answer is simple, dude. It's like, I've always made a point of making sure that I get my diet in order, my health in order. And I'm not perfect every day, but 80-90% of the time I'm good. I work out 80-90% of the time. I eat clean 80-90% of the time. And we were just talking about this before we jumped on. Like Dean was saying how much work he has to do, like, and how he's going to be up until the middle of the night, every single night this week, getting caught up on work. And you can't tell me that you would be better off, like, eating like shit, being a fat ass, not doing anything and trying to do that. But Dean, who eats healthy, works out every single day, has like all of his health and fitness in order, obviously he's going to be able to perform at a much higher level, especially in those late night hours. So there's no question on whether or not, to me, being physically fit is helpful for your for your like business. I think, is it required? No, we've seen plenty of examples of people that do it, but for most people, it would definitely be a benefit. That's for sure.
What about
What
you,
do you think,
Dino?
Strat?
I mean, I think you have to. I think the big thing is people did it before without being physically fit. But I think now, if Jeff Bezos is taking his fitness seriously, if you look at him, bro, he could beat up a grown man right now. Like, he's fucking yoked to the gills. If he's taking it seriously, odds are, as an entrepreneur, you should probably take it.
You think he's on that sauce? Is he on the
Bro,
TRT?
he's for sure on the juice. Like, let
Dude,
me.
How does it go from nerd curly haired man to the
Bro,
bald
look at Jeff
head
Bezos and Zuck.
Bezos?
friggin'
Oh God.
aviator Top Gun glasses with some cut off leather jackets and some veins popping? He's on some sauce, right?
Oh,
Bro, he's on
100%. I don't even mean that in like a bad way, bro. I mean, it's like if you're Bezos and you have access to everything, like I would want every competitor. He's not like competing in professional sports, bro. So it's like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like he's going to go into the Olympics or something, bro. Of course he is, bro. He's like, how old is he?
There's no question. He's on the sauce. He's
bro, there's no question. He's not on the sauce.
Yeah.
He's fucking huge.
I didn't know it was like that either. Like with the shirtless pics. Yeah, he's on the
Oh,
he's on
bro.
that sauce. For sure.
He's on that sauce. I don't know any the entrepreneurs that I look up to now. None of them are overweight, let's say. Like none of them are huge. Can you think of anybody who like, oh, he's a really good operator right now, who's like enormous at a really, really, really high level?
I think all the people, if I'm thinking about people in our circle that, you know, people that just came and spoke at Deal Champ Summit, right? We think about the speaker lineup. There might be some of those speakers that were once upon a time out of shape, but they have like completely changed their lifestyles and are in really good shape now. I think the majority of the people are like really into fitness. Thinking about our speaker lineup. If we think about other events that we've gone and spoken at, overwhelming majority of people are into fitness, into taking care of themselves. And I think there's a direct correlation. I don't think that those are necessarily always in perfect harmony, right? There's different seasons you might go through to where you don't have enough time to go to the gym. You might not even have enough money for a gym membership, you know, like that's all possible, but still taking care of yourself and putting yourself in the best position physically and mentally is what most people that are successful will do. Again, I think there's going to be outliers that are completely out of shape and we'll see that. And maybe they got to that point because they found success and then they just stopped caring, right? Maybe that's why
that's another thing, bro. Some people just
old
stop
fat guy. Yeah.
And now they're going hard.
Already have success and they're just going hard. For me personally, I know it's like, it's an absolute must. I can't function without working out. It just regulates all of my hormones, my emotions, my mental clarity, feeling good about myself. Like if I just feel like a big pile of mush, I don't feel good, man. I do not feel good. I feel down about myself. I feel less motivated. And it's mentally, it's kind of mentally exhausting, you know, but if I'm working out, I'm finding success in the gym, I'm overcoming that whole battle of just telling myself every day I'm going to do the work and I'm going to go lift weights. I'm going to eat right and do all this different type of stuff. I'm building these habits and I'm telling myself who I am and who I'm going to continue to be day in and day out. That's why for me, like there's certain food that I know tastes delicious that I have programmed my brain so strong that it doesn't matter who you are, what you try to convince me of, I'm not eating it. Right? When someone tries to hand me a drink,
you're like, no, it's going to give me cancer. I'm going to die next year if I drink this. It's going to give me cancer.
Hey, man, just have a sip. Like my best friend loves a drink. He's like, dude, wouldn't it be great if two buddies could just share a beer together? And I'm like, that's not going to be me, man. Like I'm not going to be sharing a drink with you. But like so many people just have a drink. It's like, that's not me. I can't have it. I won't have it. And that's it. You know, so yeah, I think it's really important to build those type of habits, and I think those carry over in your business a lot.
Jason, you got any comments? Dino, you got any comments?
All positive stuff. Clashy Trash LLC said, glad I started tuning in more than 5 minutes. This is definitely going to be a ritual moving forward. Shout out to you, bro. I'm glad that you're getting some value out of this one. I love it. I Sell Your House asked, do you drink alcohol? So Dean answered that question. Dean is not a drinker. I will drink in moderation. I've found a way to balance out what works well in my life. And I think, again, it's for everybody that needs to make their own choice. There's no right or wrong answer. Strat, I don't know. I think sometimes you oscillate between.
He'll drink if he's not on 75 hard for the 6th time.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll do 75 hard, like in and out for like a year, because like for me, I know myself. When I drink, I want to fucking drink. Like I'm not just drinking. Yeah. I'm here to rage. And so I know myself. And so like, I'm not just going to go have a drink with you. That's not what I'm there to accomplish. Like I'm here to have a good time and we're going to go have it. Like, that's why me and Ian get along so much, because we're just degenerates. Yeah. Right. So like if I drink it, there has to be like an occasion, because for me, the sacrifice of taking 2 drinks to feel like shit the next day and not get good sleep is not worth it for me. If I'm going to drink, I might as well go balls to the wall. And that's just how I am. And like, that's why we had like the non-alcoholic beer, like the thing. But at the same, like, because I've gotten to a point to where I've gotten so drunk at times where I should have not been drunk. And I'm a little bit younger than you two, to where in professional settings, I try just not to drink anymore. Yeah. Like I think it's not what I'm going to do.
It's self-awareness for those of you guys that are listening. It's interesting. This is getting lots of comments. You have to be self-aware. And if you can't control yourself and you don't understand how to set a limit, and you don't understand how to, if you are not going to let the negative byproduct of you having a drink and that screw up the rest of your day, and you can still stay committed and disciplined, then maybe drink in moderation. And if you can't, maybe take a route where you don't, dude, until you can figure that out. And so as long as you figure out what works for you, I think that's the best route.
All right. Next question. Do we have one more question, or are we going to go with the main topic?
Let's go with the main topic.
All right. When this fucking landscaper's always coming over here on Tuesdays. Can you guys hear that, or am I good?
No, you're good. You're good.
When and how to transition into bigger deals and commercial deals? I have a different take on this. If you are young, I think you should go for it immediately, and you should more than likely go get a job working for someone else and get into the game and go into the bigger deals out the gate, because you only have so much time. And as a young person, people actually give a fuck about you. If you are 40 years old and you want to go tell someone else you work for them for free, that person's not going to give you the time of day. If you are fresh out of college or 18, they're going to give you the time of day. It's just like, I don't know what it is, but it's the nature of the beast. So I think if you're younger, you should go for it. If you have income, I'd tell you 100% skip over single family and go for it. I think our friend Joe started dabbling in single family a little bit, but then he automatically jumped and started doing the bigger stuff. And then for me, I got into storage at a good time. I wouldn't say I would have started off right away, like trying to do self-storage. But then I know kids who are syndicating at 19 years old, and now they have $40 million portfolios and $40 million net worths, right? Like all this stuff. If you're younger, I'd always tell you to go make the jump, go bigger sooner, because there really is only a finite amount of time. And you, like me, like I'm turning 30 in March. It's fucking horrifying to think about like what I could have accomplished in this amount of time and what I have. You know, like it is very, very
that'll haunt you if you spend time on that, right?
Bro, it'll fucking, oh my God. Like it'll kill me. And so I'd say if you are younger, or if you are just getting started, go for the big shit. Just go for it, because you only have so much time on the planet and it's worth it. I'm sure you guys are going to have different opinions, but that's just me.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with thinking big, and I'm a big proponent of thinking big. I am now 10 years into the business, and I'm happy with my journey and the progression that I've made, dude. Like looking back, there isn't really much that I would change. Like it would have been nice to take on bigger opportunities sooner, but this is what's been proven to me, dude. It's like the things that, and we've talked about this a lot, Strat, it's like the stuff that I'm dealing with now, if you had given Jason from even 2 years ago, all the things that Jason is dealing with today, I would be literally curled up under my desk, bro, and I would not be able to handle the pressure of all the stuff that I deal with now. So I think everybody has a natural progression, and that has to do with so many different factors that are unique to you. How much money you need, where you're at in your life, what type of family responsibility you have, like all your age, all of these things, dude. And for me, I feel like I had to go through this journey to feel comfortable enough to start taking swings now at some of the larger deals that I'm doing. So I think it's okay to have a big vision, but start just taking smaller chunks out of it, right? And I don't even think the stuff that like any of us are doing is small, like flipping houses and doing all this. I don't think that that's small. It's small relative to like some of the deals that we're doing. But it's social media
that we have, though. I would say for us, it's the exposure that we've seen and what's possible, and to where that's what makes you feel small, to where like I don't want to wear a Rolex because I know I should be wearing an AP, right? And like it's this self-sabotage thing to where like you go into a room and it's just like going into those masterminds. Oh, we're only making $1 million a year. For one person, that's like, oh wow, you're just getting started. For another person, relatively, like, bro, that's insane.
For me, it's putting yourself into a position where your proximity to high performers is great, as long as you can cut it off where the motivation ends and then the comparison starts. Because if you start doing that comparison game, dude, where it's like, oh, this guy's this age and he's got more than me, then why don't I think that's a bad place, at least for me to be in. But if I can take it to the point where it's like, damn, dude, if this guy is 35 and I'm 43 right now and he's doing this, then I know that I can do it, dude. Like that for me is a very good place to be in, dude. Like mentally, when I get into that place, I get motivated. I feel like I want to do more and I'm driven, but I never let it pass the comparison to make me think that I'm doing something wrong, dude. So I've been able to figure out and balance that. And that's what I would encourage you guys that are listening in on this live stream. It's like, find a place to find motivation, but don't let it get to a point where you're comparing yourself against other people and second guessing every single decision you make. Because at the end of the day, dude, we all had different starting points. We all had different obstacles to overcome. We're all on our own journey, on our own path. And it's about being a better version of yourself, not comparing to other people.
And I wouldn't say second guess. And if you are just getting started, you should compare yourself, because reality checks of where you're at with your effort and where your outcome should actually be. To where if you and another guy got started at the same time and you have a very similar background, you should 100% compare yourself to him if your goals are the same and he is farther. You should not be comparing yourself to Andy Frisella, right? Like, I mean, Andy's been in the game 25 years, massive company. Like, that's not what we're doing the comparing with. But if there is people who are in your sphere who you are in the same realm with, you need to be very honest with yourself of where you're at and where you should be. I think that is where...
When you put that mirror on yourself like that, dude, it makes you ask the question, what does this person have that I don't have, dude? And at least for me, that's a question that really gets me driven. It's like, well, fuck, if this person got there, and is he smarter than me, or is he or she smarter? Are they harder working? Do they have this type? If all those answers are no, then I'm the fucking problem, dude. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm the problem, then I know that there's something within me that I can control. So it allows you to take back power of the things, and instead of making it something external about the market or somebody else, you look internally and say, okay, I've got to fix this and I got to fix that. And most people, especially at the beginning, they could use a kick in the ass because they are underestimating how much work is required and the effort and the time and the consistency and the patience. It is, bro. It is, man. And most people don't have any idea how much effort you have to put in and how long you have to stick with this before you get some of the results that we talk about openly.
I think the cadence that people don't know that you should be operating at, to where I posted about this on IG the other day. Like a dude was like, Strat, I have way too much free time. And he's like doing like a dude. I was like, bro, what do you mean free time? If you are not on the phone, what are you doing? Like, we are on the phone. You should be on the phone. Like, that is the only thing.
I got no fucking free time, bro. Yeah, nothing, dude. My day is literally just bang, 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 just back to back to back to back to back, dude. And people ask me that all the time. It's because I don't have free time, bro. I don't have time to just sit around and screw around, bro. It's like almost every block of my day from when I wake up to when I go to sleep is planned out and intentional, bro. And so you've got to take this thing really, really seriously. Otherwise you Most people want these like crazy results, and they want this crazy like outcomes in their life, but they're not willing to change anything about what they do on a day-to-day basis. And your outcomes are never going to be different if you stay the same and you keep doing the same things every day.
100%.
I think the biggest thing that you guys said that I want to reiterate is when you're looking to get into the bigger deals, when you're looking to drive and push yourself, I think the clear difference between finding motivation from others that are around you in your circle or others that are ahead of you versus comparison. The comparison is where things really mentally just bring you down, because there's infinitely and always going to be someone that's doing better than you, that's younger than you, that's better looking than you, that's, go down a list of all these things that are better than you. And if you start comparing and playing that game, you're gonna be pretty miserable. But if you start thinking about it in a competitive standpoint, right, of like, oh, this person's doing this, then I know I can do it too, or I'm going to push myself to do it too. What do I need to do to get there too? Then those are the things that are going to help you get better. And for me, from a sports background, I thrive in that. I love to, to evaluate a person that I'm going up against, someone that's maybe doing something similar to what I'm doing, and trying to do better than them, right? Trying to compete against them and seeing, where we're both at, and, trying to lift each other up at the same time too. So I think, for me, when it comes to transitioning into bigger deals, I think that that's an interesting topic, because, for some people, that's the progression. That's where they want to go. And for others, they don't necessarily need or want to go there. And I'll just use an example. My business partner, he's doing a lot of bigger deals right now. And I'm talking big deals, right? Like serious deals. So, and he's telling me like, hey, this is amazing, but it's also that much more stressful. You know what I mean? Like significantly more. And he's like, dude, I'm ready to double down on what we're doing, because although it might not have as many zeros or commas, like we freaking crush at this, and the stress level is so significantly low, and the execution on it is easy. Like, let's just keep crushing here. It's more predictable. It's consistent. It's, it's good. So, that's feedback from someone I know close and personal.
What are the stressors in it? Is it just the fat checks that he has to write for this stuff?
Fat checks. And on top of that, you're dealing with other people with significant amounts of money. And what happens when you start to have a lot of money? For some people, those people tend to get egos. They're the ones that are right. They have a pissing match and contest. And now it's like, no, I'm not going to do this deal because you said something to me I don't like. And there's millions of dollars on the line. You know what I mean? I hear all sorts of stories that just like make me want to run away from that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot at stake when you're dealing in the bigger deals. And if you make the wrong decision, it can cost you a lot, just as you can make more X's and O's, or more commas and zeros, you can also lose more commas and zeros. Mm-hmm. So
I think especially buying them, not just developing them, but if you buy like a big bad deal, bro, everything has a PG on it. You're going under.
Yeah.
Like, and that happens a lot. Manny Koshman bought the same building 3 times. Think about that. Like, so 3 people defaulted on a $100 million plus loan that he kept buying back from them. That's crazy. Like, so you can lose it all. And I would say one thing I have seen, everyone we know in the bigger deals, it feels like it's a lot. You got to know politics at that point. Like you got to kind of play the game if you're going to do.
Yeah, relationship capital is definitely more important there, dude. And it takes a lot of time to get to the point where you can develop those relationships, those track records, the will and the balls that you need to deal with some of these swings when you're talking about multi-million-dollar decisions that are happening. Going back to what we were saying earlier, dude, like if you can't deal with the swings of losing 30, 40 grand on a house, what do you think is going to happen when you got three or $4 million on a big development deal on the line, dude? Are you think magically you're going to be able to handle that type of pressure better when you've never felt the pressure of one of these smaller deals? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way, bro. You know, it won't happen. So it's like there is a cost of entry that has to be paid, in my opinion, to get you like in the space where you can even really start thinking about that stuff. So I want to just add something tangible, because I think we're talking a lot about the mental side of it, right? And the mental component is probably bigger than just the tactical side. But here's some tactical things for me, because we were talking about a big deal that we're taking a stab at right now, right? And so like, what do we need to do to even feel comfortable like looking at this opportunity and not just automatically disqualifying it? Because we talk a lot about distractions. Like, our business is thriving right now. We're doing very well. Could be very easy to just remain comfortable right now and just be like, dude, we're crushing. Let's just stay in our lane. Let's not get distracted. There's been other opportunities that have been shiny objects that we've gotten distracted on, right? And we've gotten burned. So like, let's not do that. So for me, what I think is important is when you're looking at a deal and it's a bigger deal in a type that you've never been involved in before, you have to mitigate your risk as much as possible. So you have to look at what is the absolute worst case scenario and what are my exits to get me out of this deal if this thing gets completely sideways, and can I stomach what that worst case scenario is? So if we sit down and say, hypothetically, here's the worst possible outcome, and here's how we would have to resolve that. If that means I'd have to liquidate some of my properties, or we'd have to exit, or we'd have to do something, is Jason okay with saying, we've got X amount of money up from one of my lenders? If this goes completely sideways, I've got to sell 7 to 10 properties in order to make these people whole. Can Jason stomach that? Yes, Jason can. So we check that box, right? Then let's look at, for me, with this land deal that we're working on, I'm trying to poke as many fucking holes as I can in this deal as possible, because my first place is skepticism, dude. I'm like, why am I the lucky guy that gets this deal?
Yeah.
Why did I get this fucking phone call?
I think that's,
you know what I'm saying,
bro, because you're like, how is this possible?
Bro,
every time.
No, dude. Yeah, dude. It's like, you just called me randomly out of nowhere. Like, let's talk through, and I want to poke every hole that I can think of, and then I'm going to pass it to every person that I like and trust their opinion that have done things like this, and then I want them to poke the holes and tell me what I'm missing here, right? And you have to get through that test too. And if you can pass those two tests, you poke every single hole in it, and it comes out clean on the other side, plus people that have been there, done that, that are your mentors that you trust also poke every hole, and they say, yes, this price is good, your exit is good. If it were me, I would do that deal and be cautious of X, Y, and Z. And if we can get out of the worst case scenario, then I think it's okay to take a chance, dude. And you just got to make sure that, you know, you have all of those things in line before you take a big swing. When you are getting ready to make a jump, it's not the time to be overly risky. And you have to ratchet some of that risk back, dude. Like, we're used to making very fast decisions, at least in our core business, very quickly. You put a house in front of me in 10 seconds. I can be like, yep, that's it. It's a deal. Sign it, send it over. I'm in, right? This, I was looking for a reason to get out of it. With that Pebble Beach house deal, I was looking for a reason to get out of that deal, bro. I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. And every time the deal like rose from the dead, like the Undertaker, bro, it's like, nope, we're here, dude. This is the deal right here, dude. And I think when you have those type of opportunities, then that's when you really look at them, dude.
I would say one more thing for the bigger deals. You need to know where you want to go, because a bigger deal may not even be what you want.
Yeah.
Because in the car rides that we've had, we've sat down like, bro, well, how do we get to $100 million? And then we all came down and we deduced like 2 different answers. You either scale one of these companies to an obscene scale, or you have to start doing these bigger deals if that's what you want to do. Yeah. But if that is not your goal, you don't need to necessarily do bigger deals. Like Terry Summers comes on. Terry probably has a $60 million portfolio of all single family houses, nothing else. Zuber, I mean, 200 rentals in Fresno, average price point is 300 grand. You guys can do the math. That's his portfolio. So it may not be even what serves you. And if you want some diversification, you could just be in a syndication.
Bigger just for the sake of bigger is not the right answer, bro. Like, you need to understand the why behind going bigger, and then layer that why on top of the bigger deals that you're looking at. But yeah, I agree. I think some people just say they want to do bigger deals, and it's like, well, why do you want to do that? Do you need
Yeah.
more money? You're just barely scraping by in life right now. Now, all of a sudden you want to jump to this over here. Like you know what I mean? Why is that? So I think a lot of people don't think through that process.
Oh, last thing. They're all fucking hard, Jason, because you're like, well, you're scraping by over here. You think you're going to go over here and it's going to be easier. Every shiny object is always just as hard or harder than what you were doing. And the grass, from my experience of chasing shiny objects, has never been greener. It has always been just as brown or just as hard as soon as you get past the honeymoon phase. You're still going to have all sorts of obstacles, issues, learning curves, money out of your pocket, ignorance tax. They're going to come with it. And so if you're thinking about, oh, well, I'm going to jump into a bigger deal because they're easier to do. Well, yeah, they're easier to do once you get past the dummy phase and you get past all that ignorance tax. But then there's still a component that you don't think about that's there, like having to write a 6-figure check to an engineer to get this thing just into due diligence.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's all of these things that go on, or even EMD for some of these deals, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
Like for a $10 million deal that you want to buy, that's a fat EMD check that you got to put down. And that could go hard if you fuck it up.
Yep.
All right. Jason, you have any comments? Dino, you have any comments before we hop out? I got some hundreds. Shanae saying, preach, Jason. Someone's talking to me about it.
Lots of love in my chat, bro. Everybody seemed to get a lot out of this. Catching our groove here, gentlemen. I like it.
I love it.
Yep.
All right, boys. Guys, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to send Sleepy Dean a message just saying Trump, the Trumpster. Like we're waiting for it. The viewers are waiting.
I got my Amazon up right now.
There's the Trump outfit on Amazon. Somebody send Dean the link. We need him
got the
in
Amazon
full
up
Trump
right
garb
here.
to lose the
full Trump nickname. And then Dean, Sleepy Dean, sorry. We'd like next week for your screen in the background to be a green screen of the American flag. And if you could make a podium happen, we'd much appreciate that.
That would be
much appreciate that.
These would be the terms to lose Sleepy Dean on next
as long
week's
as I
pod.
lose
We're
that
laying the
damn
terms out on
nickname.
on left. That's it.
Yeah, these are the terms that us and the people have laid out. You say you're a man of the people. Sleepy Dean doesn't sound like a man of the people, so you got to prove that you're a man of the people. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Go give us a we need to up our YouTube. So guys, this is our only agreement. We don't charge for anything. Go hit subscribe for us. We're trying to push YouTube heavy, and we haven't been doing a very good job of it. Go give us a subscribe over there and give this video a like. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.